Welcome to the next step. New consciousness programming, showcasing the art, the music, the literature, the spirituality, and the politics of the evolving new consciousness. Today's show, Episode 3, Resurrecting the Goddess. Thank you, Goddess, for that invocation. Hi, my name is Galen. It's a pleasure to be here today, February 3rd, Sunday. Direct to video from Palo Alto, California. I'd like to introduce our panel and thank you, Astara, for that lovely invocation. Thank you so much. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Please, Diane.
I'm Diane Darling. I am a neo-pagan priestess, ritualist, editor, and writer. Former editor of Green Egg Magazine, Green Man Magazine, and Pangaea Magazine.
Thank you, Diane. To my left.
I'm Jim Fadiman. I work at the Institute for Transpersonal Psychology, and I'm a novelist, and as of at least today, a very good friend of the goddess.
Thank you. And to my right.
I'm Alicia David. I'm one of the co-founders of the Eleusis Project, which has just secured over 900 acres of beautiful sacred land 2 hours north of San Francisco. We're building there a haven for artists, performers, new thinkers, and scientists to build a better world where we can live together and with nature and with technology.
Thank you, Alicia and Astara.
Hi, I'm Astara. And my mission here on the planet, and the reason why I'm here, is bringing dance back to the planet as a means for self-transformation and healing and the expression of our divine essence.
Thank you. Well, I've personally been learning a new phrase that's very simple, Jai Ma, which means victory to the Earth Mother Goddess. So we have some goddesses on our panel and some honorary goddesses, and Jim and I are in touch with our feminine side. What does that look like to you? What would victory to the Earth Mother Goddess feel like and look like? Anybody, any thoughts?
No more war.
No more war. I'm for that. You're here.
No
Yeah.
more environmental destruction?
Yes.
It's true. Environmental destruction is directly related to the suppression of the feminine
Exactly.
in our societies, in nature, and it's my belief that we won't achieve environmental health until we achieve gender health among humans, and that the impact of our gender imbalance among humans is so fantastic on every other species that the sooner we can move ahead and reintegrate the feminine in an equal way with the masculine in our politics, in our health, in our social lives, in our sexual lives, there's more likely we are to be able to achieve a green and growing future for our children.
Very, very beautiful vision. One of the things you said, I just want to go back to, is this idea of balance, because there's a matriarchy and there's a patriarchy, and personally, I'd rather not have either. I'd rather have where both are honored, where both are balanced. So we have strong men and strong women, rather than this idea of let's tear men down. Well, let's honor both of those elements, rather than have one be lord over the other.
I personally don't like the terms patriarchy and matriarchy because, like you said, both imply a dominance of one over the other. And there isn't really a whole lot of evidence that there ever were very many matriarchies.
There are a few Cheyenne Indians. There are a few out there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I believe the Cheyenne were matriarchal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But there are a lot of different sort of, basically, from what I've been reading, there's two paradigms. One, which Rianne Eisler, who wrote The Chalice and the Blade, calls the partnership paradigm, where there's a balance between masculine and feminine energies, and then the dominator paradigm, which some people call the patriarchy, which is usually male-dominated. Usually inheritance happens through the male line, and there's a whole line of cultural characteristics that tend to go hand in hand with either one paradigm or the other. And all cultures are somewhere along the line between one and the other, with some very extreme dominator, and a few cultures on the planet are left up in the highlands that are still partnership, but they're almost completely eliminated to this day.
Well, the partnership model is, we had a reaction in the last show from one of our panelists about the mythical golden age, where that partnership model supposedly existed, and that maybe as a past life memory or something, but intuitively that seems to ring true for me, this idea of an equal partnership where the masculine and feminine had its role and was fully actualized in that role. And I think the mental life of people in that time was very different than it is now.
Well, I think the partnership that we may be talking about is a deeper partnership than the male-female partnership, which is our first partner. The first partner that we are currently screwing over is the Earth.
Yes.
And if we don't get that partnership back in shape, this is on the deck of the Titanic dialogue.
Yes, exactly. You're absolutely right. Well, I would say then that first dialogue, that first partnership is with the self, is getting the masculine and feminine aspects within an individual in line, because it's that need to be machismo, to, that acquisitiveness, I think is, I wish I could say it's more male, but I guess it's male and female. You see the shopping and the consuming, which is in fact destroying the planet. So I think there's equal culpability there, in terms of how that energy manifests. But it's this consumerism, and I don't think that's, dominated by male or female. But I think that's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, that the balance of the male and the female within, there is really a healing that occurs as we bring in the energy of the feminine, and that's what's been lacking on the planet, is the energy of the feminine, which in and of itself is the energy of acceptance. And so as we move through our different energy centers with that level of acceptance, we open up to heal the aspects that actually saw itself in a dual position, that saw the opposition, and that had a judgment about it. So it is the essence of the feminine that brings us into the neutrality and out of the mode of judgment, so that we're in duality. And bringing that as an inner healing to manifest from a clear place.
Well said. That's and Wilhelm Reich would agree. I've recently been learning and reading about Wilhelm Reich, and he said these similar sort of things. He made the audacious statement that most of the strife in the world was because of the inappropriate male-female dynamic. And then that, that goes to within the individual as well. And of course, it's externalized. It's with, the men and women and how they relate to each other and that dynamic.
And being versus doing.
Being versus doing. Thank you for saying.
Major
Actually,
dynamic.
I'm big into the Hegelian dialectic. So what's a hobby of mine actually, identifying and resolving Hegelian dialectics. It's an unusual hobby, but I like it. But anyway, so I want to start because I studied physics. So the idea that if you frame a problem appropriately, if you pick your frame of reference cleverly enough, like it's really easy to describe a cylinder in a spherical, a cylinder, but a sphere in a spherical coordinate system. It's a little harder in a Cartesian coordinate system. So if you pick your perspective very cleverly, you can get a lot done. So the Hegelian dialectic, I like this idea of there are human doings and there are human beings. Mm-hmm. There's people living in karma and people living in dharma. Because there's an assumption that, well, everybody's pretty much dealing with exactly the same thing, and that's not true. It's what we were talking about last time in Ken Wilber in I forgot the colors of the memes. Actually, Jordan, you can help. You probably know this. What are the, you don't know? Jordan, which is the meme? But anyway, it's the meme that everything is just the same as everything else. It's the before the first level of integration where they even understand that anything is different or better than anything else. It's like, oh, I have this view and it's just as valid as your view. It's like I brought up before, people have argued to me, Einstein was, no better than Hitler, because
That's kind of a liberal left-wing argument, actually, which is interesting.
True. Yeah. Well, yeah, those liberal.
And the liberals are in control of the media, so I have to make that joke.
That's true.
The ideal of balance and whatever sort system you choose to understand your world, you have to create some kind of parameters built on desires in order to have a reason to make forward motion. And so with a dominant masculine society, our desires are like going out and getting and doing and moving things around and making the material plane go.
Doing stuff.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
Do something.
And so we lose track of the flow that is around us that if left unimpeded will move in conjunction with the masculine energy towards balance.
Exactly.